Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative.
They're asking me about everything, local, state, federal, all the time. How do I do this? How do I do that? Why can't I get a speed hump? What's going on with the consent decree? Hey y'all, welcome to Ask Attica. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday morning. Hey y'all, welcome to this episode of Ask Attica with our special guest, Kristen Williams of Play Cousins Collective. I'm so excited to have you here, Kristen, because I thought about it. I was like, wait, we've been doing this for a year and we haven't had Play Cousins on here? What?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here too. Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot.
Of course. So I want to start with a question I like to ask some of my favorite guests. What is bringing you joy today?
Mm. Bringing me joy today would be one-on-one time with my 5-year-old. So we were rushing to camp, and he said, "Mom, I'm hungry," and I had skipped breakfast. And I said, "You know what? Let's stop." And so we stopped at the cafe, and we got a cinnamon bun, and it was just so sweet. And he looked up to me and said, "Thank you." And that one-on-one time just means everything.
I love that because it's prioritizing, right? You say, okay, well, wait a minute. This we're going to stop. We're going to first of all, we should have breakfast just in general, right? We should never miss breakfast. But secondly, your baby said, "I want this time with you,"
Right.
and you said, "Okay, I'm going to listen, and we're going to have this time together." That's beautiful. I love it. So I want to get into it. We're going to take a couple, 2, 3 breaks throughout, but I want to get into it. I want people to know about Play Cousins Collective. So tell the people about Play Cousins and what y'all do, because y'all do a lot.
We do a
Okay.
lot. Yes. Well, the concept really started in 2017 with me and a bunch of friends. We lived in West Louisville and really saw that as an abundant place and did not like the narratives that are out there that really blind our children of who they are and what's capable for them or what they're capable of. And so we started to create a newsletter and we just tracked all the places where they could show up and be loved, be affirmed, be seen, be poured into. And we realized there just weren't enough of those spaces. So we began creating those spaces, and then people started asking us to come out. So, one of our fundamental pillars is youth enrichment. People can call us when there's a community meeting, and we'll come out and we provide children's programming. And that's really because we want an active citizenship. We want our parents to be the first teachers. We want them to be the people showing up at the rallies. There's a town hall. We want Black folks, especially, and all marginalized people to stand up and be the drivers in their communities.
One of the things I really appreciate about Play Cousins is that y'all are unapologetically black. You center blackness. You center our awareness of ourselves as Africans, right? And I just love that. I love it.
There's that is such an important piece to be unapologetic and to understand that the Black experience can be leveraged to share knowledge with all people. Right. So we welcome everyone into the village, but we are unapologetic in that these Pan African communal values really have kept us safe. We're here because we have loved one another, and that love is what has kept us safe and will bring us into the future. We want to share that and those other ways of being so that we can heal our earth, we can heal our families, and we can live in a more sustainable way.
Yes, I appreciate that healing our earth because we have a responsibility. Humans have damaged the earth, have hurt the earth, and we have to be responsible for healing it. So let's talk about the kids because y'all do so much with the kids, and I love it. So years ago, I think uh, maybe the early years of me being a state representative, because you said y'all started around 2017. Y'all had me come and read, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was virtual. I can't remember now at this point. But yeah, we did some reading with the kids. But where I work full time, y'all provided the children's program, and I'm intentional with my words, the children's programming for the Kentucky Movement Assembly in Northern Kentucky. So can you talk a little bit more about the children's programming that y'all offer? Because for some people, they'll hear that and they'll think, oh, childcare, right? Which fine, great, we need that too. But this is something different. This is programming for kids. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Just the idea that our world, that children belong to our world, that there should not be space. I mean, there are spaces where children shouldn't be, but when we're looking at engaging a community, especially when we're looking at engaging people who have children. We need to make space for children, right, to be there. So Play Cousins Collective comes and we provide a lesson plan. So say you're having a or like a community event around dentistry or dental health. We'll come in and we'll curate a lesson plan specific to dental health. And then the children get to learn that they can come out at the end of the conference and share what they've learned. But what we really want is for parents to be communicating with their children, to take home and on the car ride home, or what, there's a shared learning. It teaches the whole community that children do have a place, and that's one of those what we call ancestral methods of healing and resilience. We're constantly looking for ways. We're separating trauma responses from ancestral methods of healing and resilience. So where we've said, there is grown folks business, and there are spaces where we have to be intentional of welcoming and parenting our children, and so we want to do more of that.
Okay. Thank you for that. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I want to get into something you have coming up next week. Yes, a special event that's happening. So we're going to take a break. And y'all, when we come back, we're going to be with Kristen Williams of Play Cousins Collective. See y'all in a moment.
Through every note, every performance, the arts connect us. The arts connect us through joy and through awe, bridging cultures and generations. From intimate theaters to the grandest stages, the arts bring us together, reminding us that we're never truly alone. When we experience the arts, we experience each other. Kentucky Performing Arts. The arts connect us.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Ask Attica with Kristen Williams of Play Cousins Collective. So we've learned more about Play Cousins and the work that y'all do, especially with our kiddos. So can you talk about this special event you have coming up next week on Juneteenth, Sankofa Homecoming?
So for the past year, we have been building Sankofa Sanctuary, and that is in Chickasaw Park. For those who may not know, Chickasaw was an Olmsted park that was built during segregation for Black folks. So we're talking about a space that has always been for the liberation, for the play of Black children, of Black families. And so this Juneteenth, in such a tumultuous time, we are celebrating a park that we started that is going to lift Black history through nature-based elements. So there are 9 play elements in Sankofa Sanctuary, and each lifts up a communal value and teaches about different ancestors and elders from Kentucky. Yes, I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait. So I'm excited we'll be able to honor you and our contemporary builders throughout our community that really champion those values.
So I've been to the park, of course. My daughter and I actually went and walked up the ramp. There's this beautiful ramp that overlooks the rivers. Just absolutely amazing, gorgeous. So what was the vision behind that space? Like, what made you think, okay, here at Chickasaw Park, in this space right here, where, at least for me, for decades, I never went back there. There was like no reason to go back there, right? So how did you have this vision to say that's the spot right there?
So it really started with Metro United Way and the Ready for K Alliance. We were given funding to start a park, but we did not have access to land. And everywhere I was going, all these doors were closing, and then a window opened, and I was speaking with Jess at Metro Parks, and she said, you could do this here. And we secured a 10-year lease. I mean, that means a lot, when you're looking at Black organizing in West Louisville, having 10 years here, knowing that this is somewhere where we can build. This is a place that's going to be held sacred for our children. So it really started with that. And then Olmsted Parks received funding, and they poured more funding into this project, so we were able to get it across the finish line for this Juneteenth. So there'll be many play features, like a bell hook snook. Yes, this is where you can read stories with your baby and really take time to reflect. There is a zip line honoring Willa Brown, who trained Tuskegee Airmen, and she was from Kentucky, right? So as our children are playing, they are in this imaginative state. Their minds are in that flow state. And this is the time that genius strikes. This is the time where I learn how I want to be in the world or what is possible for me. And so pairing that with images that reflect our children, affirming that this is possible for them, is just an idea that just sets my heart on fire. I want that. This is the whole point, is we want our children to know there's no limit for what they are capable of.
That's right. I'm sitting here like, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go. I'm so excited because, for the past year, I've been going with like Miss Jackie, Miss Jackie, and we've been traveling across Kentucky documenting Black history sites, heritage centers, cultural museums, cemeteries, monuments, all kind of things. And so now, right here at home, right here at home, we have somewhere to go. Miss Jackie can take her grandkids and just expose them to what they should be seeing on a regular basis anyway, right? Because I just did a video about the clock, the Louisville Derby clock that they're talking about bringing back, and its racist history. And I'm like, why do our kids have to be exposed to that? Why can't they be exposed to greatness, to genius?
There's so much greatness. There's such an abundance, right? I mean, I almost had a fight. So Chantrice Martin, she is the illustrator for our signs. And she was like, girl, you can't put everybody on here. I was just like, I know, but there's just so many amazing people then and now, right? And that's really the job of Play Cousins. So we have thevillagelou.com, where we illustrate just how many amazing Black businesses and nonprofits are in our community, because there's such a strong narrative against that. Unfortunately, it's like our children are just bombarded, with negative images. So you turn on the news, right? And it's just mugshot after mugshot. Where are the positive stories? So that's our job. It is our job as parents, and really every person is an elder in our community. So you must know how to affirm the next generation. You need to know what is your purpose, and everybody has the same purpose, right? Is to create a better world. And so we are each positioned uniquely to do that. We have to do that Kuji self-determination, to figure out how is it that what's coming through my lineage? What do I need to heal in my generation? How do I leverage the lessons that I have in my life to bless the next generation, right? That's collective responsibility, Ujima, right? And so each of these principles that we're talking about here, those are a play element in the park. And so it's not just for the babies, it's for us to reconnect to the land, to the community, and to ourselves.
And you are reminding us of Kwanzaa year round,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
So it's not just the wait, gotta wait till December. It's year round. It's in public view, on public display. So I appreciate that.
And how many children think that we don't have a culture, or that their culture is whatever they're listening to on the radio, right? That's not true. And that narrative has to be counteracted with us knowing who we are. So I'll quickly say, what does Ujima mean? What does Kujichagulia mean? Every it's time to clean up the house. Ujima and my kids, collective work and responsibility. I didn't make the mess. Collective work and responsibility, right? And we have to live it.
Yes, we do. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with Play Cousins, because I'm sure there's some folks watching and getting excited about that. And then I'm also going to see if you have any questions for me. This is where I always get nervous, y'all, because you never know what the questions might be. But we'll be back in just a moment with Kristen Williams of Play Cousins Collective.
Hey guys, before we get back to the live stream, I'm Tracy, the bartender at Southern Hospitality Bar and Grill, located at 3402 West Broadway. You guys got to come and check us out. You can call your order in, and the phone number is 502-822-1474. Again, I'm Tracy, the bartender at Southern Hospitality. Come check us out, guys.
Hey, I know you're watching the live stream right now, but I want to take a moment to tell you to check out this new book right here over my shoulder. Believe me, it'll be worth it.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Ask Attica with our guest, Kristen Williams of Play Cousins Collective. So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about homecoming, Sankofa homecoming happening on Juneteenth. Can you talk more about how that decision was made?
So Juneteenth being this liberation day for our nation, we wanted to really think about how that connection to nature and to one another, and this concept of liberation, how we're manifesting that through Sankofa Sanctuary. So we know that Black children, especially, are not getting the time and the space to make their bodies big and to yell, to take up space and to ask questions, to get dirty, right, to make mistakes. And so that is what we're doing with Senko. This is sanctuary for children, right? So they get to be children in a world that adultifies them, in a world that is filled with screens that are constantly pulling on their brains. We want to hold safe space for them to practice liberation. We truly believe that our children having those opportunities, those play opportunities, those are the muscles they're going to need to build so that they can advocate for themselves, so that they can think creatively about the solutions or the issues that are out here that we haven't been able to solve. Well, right now, we're building kids that are taking standardized tests, right, that are told to memorize information and spit things out. They're utilizing a lot of AI. And so the skills that they need in order to solve the problems that are going to be at their doorstep are not being built. And it's on us to remember who we are and to create safe spaces for them to realize all of who they are, so they're prepared for the future.
Absolutely. And so you talked some about preparing them to be advocates. So I've noticed Play Cousins over the years has gotten more and more involved in advocacy and public policy. So can you talk a little bit about that part of your work?
So we were doing a lot of work around engaging families and knowing what their rights are when CPS knocks on their door. That was a lot of our federal work in this past year. Unfortunately, we saw funding get cut, all funding that had to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. That included that federal grant that we've had. And so we continue to work mainly through the Village Lou to identify issues as they come to our community, to organize resources, working with folks like Black Leadership Action, Kentucky, right? That they have really served, along with you and other folks in our community, to help guide conversations. 'Cause our families really want to know what is happening, but we are so stretched thin, right? So we really have to have leaders who are going to communicate those issues and who will call us together. So that's what our civic engagement pillar has really done, is to hold space so that when folks are ready to engage, we are constantly gathering the people, right? And our job is to be here so that when the folks have the issues, we're ready to engage and to learn and to vote and to do all of those wonderful things because we know it's needed and we know it's our responsibility to do so.
Absolutely. And I want to remind you that I'm always here I don't actually need to remind you. That's not the word that I'm looking for because you already know. But I just want to reiterate that I'm here as a resource in that work because that's my love language. Policy is my love language. It's truly how we can begin the transformation of society. It's part of it. It's not all of it at all. And I know that perfectly well, but it's part of it, is that policy change to transform society. And people can only change policy if they're aware of how systems and institutions work. So you already know I'm there for y'all.
Exactly. So you coming to our last civic engagement event, just to break it down, I think is huge. The concept, the way that Black folks relate to power is often very complicated, right? There is a lot of distrust. There's so much a feeling of not being safe. And so oftentimes we wait until people are cherry picked, right? And then whoever is there, we'll just vote on them. It takes that relationship. So you showing up and building that relationship, me knowing I can text Attica Scott, right? That is huge. And everybody is not really built like that. But that's that ujima. That's really what is truly needed, that I am accountable to someone. That's what a relationship is, that there's a level of accountability. But when you're looking at white supremacy culture or dominant culture in our communities, you'll see defensiveness, you see isolation. And so when we get back to those communal values, we challenge those concepts where, this individualism persists. We know that can't be the way that we're going to heal or that we're going to build power. So it means everything to me that we have access to you.
Absolutely. So I want to hand the mic over to you because we're at that point, y'all, where, my special guests get the opportunity to ask me questions because it's called Ask Attica. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you, Kristen, to see if you have any questions for me.
Okay. I'm going to start with the silly one. Okay. What do you bring to the cookout?
Ooh, what do I bring? Me and my appetite. Usually I'm the cutlery person because I really don't like to cook. I will My kids are grown, so they made it somehow. They ate something, I don't even remember what, but they're here. They made it. But I'm the cutlery person, so I'll bring the plates and napkins and utensils and all those things.
Structure.
I am structure. I believe in structure, and somebody's got to bring that, or we'll be eating with our hands, which is fine too. But y'all might want some plates.
That's the part, the foundation. Ashe. Okay. My next question is, what does liberation look like to you? In this day's time, what does liberation look like to you?
So earlier this week, I was at the Shawnee Community Center with Black As Camping. Why did Brittany ask me a very similar question? And I was stumped.
That's my sister.
Man, because I'm like, what is it? What does it actually really mean? That liberation? Because I know it's different from freedom. Because for me, I have freedom in different parts of my life. Not in all parts, because I live in a place that's set up with institutions and systems that are designed to hold me back. But liberation is a thought to me. It's not only physical, but it's also mental. It's even if I'm not free in this space that I find myself, I'm still liberated from the chains that it's put around me to be able to speak my truth, for example, right? To be able to show up for my community the way that my community needs me to show up. Liberation is the community, the collective work and responsibility that you talked about. I believe it's all of us owning and holding one another. That's liberation, because it's despite what's going on. Liberation is despite what's going on. Sometimes freedom is tethered to what's happening in the world and in our communities. But liberation is, regardless of what's happening, I still have my sound mind. I still have my ability to show up and speak out and stand up in whatever ways work for me. And that's for anyone in here and anyone outside of Black Coffee and Goodwill. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this Juneteenth, what I hope for that people will understand is that all of us in America and across this world ought to be seeking liberation, and that our dominant culture today has a lot of practices that are, um, you know, that are suicidal, to be honest, that are all consuming, that will never be satiated. And so for us to return to practice Sankofa, to go back and get the knowledge of our ancestors, everybody is indigenous from somewhere. Go back far enough, and it wasn't always a king and a feudal system, and I own all the land, and y'all just gonna get it how you live. That was not always how it was. And so, how do we share power with one another so that we can create that liberation? That's the work that we all have to do. Nobody is truly served. You got millionaires committing suicide, right? You got some sick people in places of power. And so when we idolize money because we don't have a value system that says every person has an innate value, that's how we get lost. So we're going to return this Juneteenth. We've got music from the kids at Amped. We got free food from Chef Makita and Gore's Smokehouse. We've got Black artists that'll each have their own tent. And it's not that they're selling their art, they're showing you what is their practice. Because we understand that art making is play, right? That this is liberation in action. And so we want to teach our children, we want to learn ourselves, how do I get into a liberation practice, right? So I'm so grateful that you are going to be there 4 to 8 next Friday. And I pray that you all will join us. We got tons of seats. So we need your bottom in that seat. Next Friday, I'm going to save a plate for you.
Awesome. I love it. So, wait just a moment. This is what happens when you go live at Black Coffee #2 in Goodwill Opportunity Center. Yes.
Hey, I know you're watching the live stream right now, but I want to take a moment to tell you to check out this new book right here over my shoulder. Believe me, it'll be worth it.
Okay, so I wanted to close out with you having the opportunity to share contact information for folks who are watching who are like, I want to get in touch with Play Cousins Collective.
So if you want to bring us out to do children's programming, you can go to booking@playcousinscollective.com. Email us there, booking@playcousinscollective.com. If you want to learn more about the Sankofa Sanctuary Project, you can go to playcousinscollective.com/Sankofa. If you are willing and able to donate, we need all of that support. playcousinscollective.org/donate. Find us on Facebook. We have an amazing group. We've got a public page. We also have a group page where we share all the resources. Every Ask Attica episode, go in there and search it. You can find it real quick, right? The voice of the people is shared. Every time Maxwell goes live, share directly, right? Every event that's in our community is posted there. So that's the Play Cousins Collective Family Network group. If you got a resources and community, we need you to post it there as well. But get in touch. Email me, Kristen, Kristen, @playcousinscollective.com.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for being my guest today on Ask Attica. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Friday at Chickasaw Park at the Sankofa Sanctuary for the Sankofa Homecoming on Juneteenth. Y'all make sure that you're following Play Cousins Collective on all the socials. The Village Lou, make sure you're following the Village Lou. If you have something to submit, make sure you submit it. And if you have an opportunity for some children's programming, be in touch with Play Cousins Collective. Again, Kristen, thank you so much. Yes, of course. And as always, thank you to Black Coffee 2 and the Goodwill Opportunity Center for allowing us to use this space. That they've been very clear that this is what they want. They want this to be a community space. And of course, to our producer, Maxwell Mitchell of Stay Live Streams. All right, y'all, we'll see you next time.
Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative.
They're asking me about everything, local, state, federal, all the time. How do I do this? How do I do that? Why can't I get a speed hump? What's going on with the consent decree? Hey y'all, welcome to Ask Attica. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday morning.